Go to our consent agenda. Any commission member may request an item on the consent agenda to be taken up for individual consideration. If you look at items 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 8, and 9, then we'll take a motion on those when you're ready.
So we're gonna pull 7.
No, not that.
Move 7 out.
Leave 7 out.
I move to approve consent agenda items 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, and 9 as presented.
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. Thank you. All right. We'll go to the public hearing items. And we'll open the public hearing at 5:39 p.m. And the public hearing on proposed fiscal year 24-25 City of Breckenridge budget.
And at this time, there have been no one has signed up to speak for the public hearing.
Don't nobody?
There's no
Okay.
speakers for the public.
All right then. We will close the public meeting at 5:39. 5:39. We will now go back to discussion item 7 from the consent agenda. Consider approval of resolution 2024-22 for the recommended board of director appointments to the BEDC. I'll turn it back to anything we need.
Yes, so this is, the BEDC's recommendation for filling, 3 director spots. And, I believe the reason it was pulled, because Commissioner Moore will be recusing himself from the vote. So unless there's questions that you all have, that backup, is in your packet. So you're approving 3 new, director spots on the BEDC as recommended by the BEDC board.
Motion.
I move to approve, resolution 2024-22 for the recommendation of for the board of director appointments of the BEDC.
Motion and second. All in favor? None opposed. Thank you again. We'll go down to item 11, discussion any necessary action regarding the PEDC fiscal year 2024-2025 budget.
So this is the BEDC budget. You have that information in your packet. David Miller is here if you have questions on that.
I'll let you know a few things right off the bat from it. On the fund balance reserve, this is a $391,000 over budget expense. So we're planning to spend about $400,000 out of our bank, more than what we're going to take in this year. That is if we just knock it out of the park and we do as much as we want to do this year. We rarely get to have that happen, but that's the plan. Incomes on our lease incomes, they're all up. We do budget less on our sales tax. Not everything in the budget is for certain. There are some projects that are coming back up for reevaluation, but we left them in the budget in case we do continue to do them. But there's a chance that some of these expenses will drop off, or if we don't do some of those projects. One of the things that we have in here is our office has quite a bit of age and repair needed. And so we're budgeting $60,000 to remodel our office. The EDC is where investors come to have conversations about investing sometimes millions of dollars into Breckenridge. And so we acknowledge that that building needs to reflect the health of where they're looking to put their money. And so that's one of our items in the budget. Some of these will be vastly different. They're based off of how many jobs are created at some of our manufacturers, and some of those they've already seen a good bit of growth. And so some of those, the next incentive checks that we cut will be much less unless they continue to grow, which would be amazing, but we don't expect that to happen. We budgeted quite a bit for legal fees and consulting fees. That's because we're planning to make a lot of moves this year, to do a lot of transactions where we're able to get some developments happening. We haven't normally budgeted that amount of money for those items. And those are the highlights in there. Any questions?
No questions?
I move to approve BEDC fiscal year 2024-2025 budget as presented.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor? Aye. Unopposed? Thank you. Item 12, discussion and necessary action approving resolution of 2024-26 PEDC's vacant to vibrant grant program. This is the first reading.
Well, I'll let David Miller talk about this initiative.
So in rural towns, our second stories are often vacant or underutilized. We want to capitalize on the fact that these are desirable places for visitors to be, and visitors often spend the most money per night that they stay. And so what we're aiming to do is to instigate these building owners to convert their underutilized or vacant second story spaces in the downtown district into short-term rentals. So think Airbnb, Vrbo, stuff like that. Not apartments. We're looking for those visitors that are coming to stay that are most likely to shop in your downtown retail and eat your downtown restaurants. The way that we have it set it up is we're paying per unit, not per building. And so if someone has 5,000 square feet in their second story and they want to convert it into 5 Airbnb units, we would pay 5 incentives based off the bedroom count for each of those units. And so this has a massive possibility outcome for getting a lot of overnight stay locations on our downtown. We've already got probably 4 or 5 people that are interested. We don't have any applications in yet, but it's looking very promising.
Would that contribute to the hotel motel tax if it was through a third party vendor like that?
It would, anything that's over, I forget the square footage, that's more, I think it's like $10 a night. Yeah, if it's a physical structure, it's not like an RV park.
Right.
Yeah, they should be, and that's a permanent thing that they would have to pull and register with the state. They're responsible for collecting it, paying it in. We are still working on another deal, that would also help massively. That's an underwriting right now, but this is people who look for an Airbnb do not look for a hotel, they're looking for something special. And so we're really looking at 2 different markets. So we're not expecting to rob from one to get the other.
How much square footage do most of those buildings have?
On second stories, most of them I would say are at least 3,000 square feet. Some I think are as much as 7.
I move to approve the first reading of resolution 2024-26 as presented.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor? Aye. No opposed? Thank you. Item 13, discussion and necessary action regarding the Chamber of Commerce annual report.
We got UD Huntington here to present that report to you with the chamber.
All right, so, hello. I'm here to share a little bit about our year and what we've done so far. So this is the city report and some of the events that we've already discussed and had already planned and everything that we've already done. So this next slide here is just letting you know of the events, the networking initiatives, partnership, ambassador program, and new projects going forward. So the ones that we've already done, the events, we like to every quarter do a networking or an event for just strictly the chamber members. So that means something like Spring Fling. That means not everyone is able to participate as far as the businesses. If they are not chamber members, it's only the membership. And so that gives us the ability to be exclusive when it comes to something like that we get to advertise, and we do a lot of different videos for them. So that's very helpful. And then this next, or sorry, stay on that slide. So there's the carnival that we did just here recently. That's something that the chamber has not had, they haven't done that in a long time. And so we were able to do that, which was really fun. And we count it as success whenever we see a lot of families and kids come and they have a lot of fun and they want it to happen again. And so that's one of the things as the chamber one of our initiatives is to bring life to the town. And a lot of people from out of town came in that weekend. And then that Stevens County, of course, that's one of the biggest and major events that we have every year. And that is very helpful for our name to go out into the surrounding counties and also in different states. That's when we have our Chuck Wagon Cook-Off, and it is very helpful for our name to get out into different states because of the Bob Drake Memorial Cook-Off. And in this slide, we have our other major event, which it was my first experience with, and a lot of us was our first experience there with the air show and planning. It's a really big event, and it actually goes all over across outside of the US. And so it gets our name, Breckenridge, Texas, into different places that all of the other events that we have done before have not been able to do this type of success. And so that is a lot of what the hot funds go into, especially when we get events that are overnight, and all of the hotels were booked, that we had to book other hotels in different towns. So that's a big plus. Our fireworks show is one of the biggest events or only event that we do currently at the lake. And we are looking to expand and do different things at the lake going forward. It's one of the beautiful things that we have here in Breckenridge. It's Hubbard Creek Lake is something that we like to capitalize on and let everybody know here in this town that they can create memories with families every year. And they could do, not that they have to go somewhere out of town for 4th of July, but they can make their memories as a tradition here in Breckenridge. And so we want to capitalize on the lake as much as possible. Boomtown Summer Sale was one of the first things, or it's one of the events that we did for the first time. And what we wanted to do, Malin and I, is find ways for every quarter to do something chamber member exclusive as far as those types of events. Again, very similar to Spring Fling, it's only for chamber members. And so that was Boomtown Summer Sale, and we did that. That was the first time we did it. And we're hoping to grow and do it again next year, because it was, I say, a success in the area of it happened. And so we're hoping to do it again, bigger and better, and going forward from there. So the next slide is the last event we've had so far is Sips of Summer. So that was our latest event. So compared to the last 2 or 3 years that we've had it, this one by far has been one of the best according to those who have attended. And they really enjoyed that the chamber partnered with a local business to get their name out there. And so Soggy Dog Wine and Brew partnered with the chamber, and we did that event together. And again, that's something we want to do as a chamber, is what are the businesses that thrive in their expertise that we can pull on their skills and have them do specific events for the community, and the chamber comes alongside and pays for the advertising. And so that's what we want to do going forward. And then right next to that is all of our other events that we have for the end of the year. The end of the year is usually the biggest, or the last quarter of the year is usually where we have a lot of our events. And so we're about to hit this big season of events with our Johnny Bates Memorial Scholarship golf tournament, and that's coming the last Saturday of this month. If you guys are golfers, we are signups are open and ready now if you want to call the chamber. Next, we will have the Culpeper and Merriweather Circus that's coming up. You could purchase tickets at the chamber. Of course, we'll have Mingle and Jingle, Walker Street Trick or Treat, Family Fun Fest, which is, we're also partnering with the county and the city to get that going. Annual award ceremony, sidewalk garage sale, which is coming up in October the 12th, Christmas parade, and chamber banquet. So those are the events that you have to look forward to for the rest of this year. Networking events is Coffee and Connection. So we started this event just this year. We partnered with TSTC. Brandon Thomas reached out to the chamber and asked how he and TSTC can partner with the chamber. I told him that, you know, I haven't been able to think on some type of networking event for exclusively chamber members to have like a mingle or like business mingle together. And so we put our heads together, we thought about it, and then, I saw something in our files in the chamber and I saw Coffee and Connections. And so we started planning around that and we launched it the first Thursday of this year in January. And it has been a success every month, minus July, because that was the 4th of July, landed on a Thursday. And so networking events is something that we just started incorporating in the chamber as far as I've been here. And then, so every month there is a sponsor. So the city sponsored the month of February. And then Texas Midwest Community Network, that is a program that the chamber is involved in. It's about other chamber members coming together and just talking and chatting and helping each other out and having resources together and growing. So that's what TMCN is. And of course, they have a lot of different programs too. Ambassador program, that's a new thing we started at the chamber this year. It is up and running and it's going. We have 6 currently. And Cynthia Northrop, yours truly, is on the ambassador program. And so she has been extremely helpful and guiding us in different ways. And in one of the ways is being an ambassador to the chamber. And so there's 6 of us. Each of them have helped and contributed in different ways. Some had events that they helped in Frontier Days. Others, they helped do the Coffee and Connections, stuff like that. So it's been very rewarding to have other individuals come out and support in this extra way. So the ambassador program is here to stay and will continue to grow. And at the end of the year for our award ceremony, we're going to have awards that we're going to give out. And so this is on a point system. So the person who has been volunteering their most time, we give them a point or 3 points when they show up or come to events or do event planning with us. And at the end of the year, we count up all those points and they get an Ambassador of the Year award, which is going to be my favorite part. So next slide, community partnership. So some things we've already done so far is partnered with Stevens County Courthouse. They have partnered with us last year to do a Family Fun Fest event. And so we want to collaborate with all the business people and also the stakeholders here in town. And we just the chamber wants to open their doors to allow ideas and help of other people who have expertise in different fields. And so that's one of the things we keep in our forefront to continue to keep that door open for partnership. Economic Development Corporation, of course, we share the same building, so we're constantly there sharing ideas. David has helped tremendously in different ways when it comes to ideas and even helps with budgets. When I first started, he was very helpful in that way. Conventions and Visitors Bureau, as you guys know, we have been trialing that out. For a year, we have did CVB, and so that was with Rhonda Crawford as the executive director. She has done the air show, and so the chamber partnered with the CVB to help get that going. Downtown Development Council, right now, I am on that board. Cynthia and I and JB and Catherine Parker were on a committee. We're talking about getting wayfinder signs for downtown. And so partnering in those types of way also so that we can contribute to downtown. TMCN, like I mentioned before, they do have a program and it's a student leadership program. And as you guys have seen, some of the things and the new things that are happening in that little area spot next to security title, that was a TMCN student project. They raised some money and now we're going to be seeing a beautiful spot there for people to rest while they shop. And lastly, with Texas Department of Criminal Justice, I just spoke with the new warden and he hopefully will be also involved as much as the previous warden. We've used the clients, they're called clients. We use them for help when we go and clean like Boomtown or Boomfest, when we have to clean the area out at the lake. So we utilize them a lot. So those are our community partnerships. And our next slide is our vision going forward. And so I just put this up here for all of us to see the statistics when it comes to social media. What Malin and I want to do is incorporate digital marketing and digital advertisement. We know these days there's a lot of digital noise going on. And we want to jump in there to bring in some positivity, which is to emphasize the fun that we have as a community. And so I researched a little bit for these numbers, and I find that 170 million in the US are actively using TikTok. And that's a lot of people. And so just getting our videos up there can reach potentially 170 million, but that's if we go viral. And it has happened to people just regularly posting something funny, and it just goes completely viral overnight. We're hoping for that. We're dreaming big. So that's some of the things that we want to incorporate as we go forward, as we advertise our businesses, as we advertise our events. And so those are a few little statistics there. I focus in on TikTok because that's something that we just started, but we also, you can find us on Instagram and YouTube and Facebook. So those are the main social medias that we do right now. And again, going forward is grant opportunities. I recently attended a grant workshop and I learned a lot. And so my part now is to go in and find where these grants live and apply for them and potentially get grants for events and just different things that we could do to help better the community in different ways. So that's what I'm currently doing, is researching to see what kind of grants are available for the Chamber of Commerce and see what we can do. And then more networking opportunities, that's in the works. Going forward, right now, we just currently have the Coffee and Connections on Thursday mornings, but we want to do something like Jive After 5 or something that is after hours, because we know that not a lot of people are able to make the morning one. So we want to give opportunity for others to mingle. And we're also dabbling with the idea of virtual meetings. So that might be a stretch, but that's something that we want to do. I added SCORE, which is an acronym for, I wrote it down because I knew I'd forget. So Service Corps of Retired Executives. So that's something that I want to get the businesses to be very familiar with, because SCORE is executives that are retired and help small business owners create a business plan, and they just walk alongside them as a coach, and it's free. And so that's something that maybe a lot of businesses do not know about. There's a lot of free resources out there. So SCORE, there's workshops people can attend for free. Anyone can do it. It's not just chamber members, but as the executive director of the chamber, I want to be able to let our members know what we have, what there is available for them as far as free resources. So the next is business recognition. One of the personal things that I love doing is giving honor where honor is due, recognizing people for the big things and the small things. There's so many things that we do in the chamber. As you guys do see events, but there's a lot more that we do behind the scenes, and we have a board of 9 that help us so much, and just Stacy helps us so much. Like, there's so many people, Cynthia, Jessica, there's a lot of people that put their hand in what we do. And so going forward, we want to recognize different things like that. And BISD partnership, along with digital marketing or digital promoting, we know that the next generation is what's going to come up after us and be ruling the world, so to speak. And so we want to combine our smarts, our wisdom, with the BISD, or with the children, with the kids, with the teenagers, to let them know that the Chamber of Commerce is an opportunity for them to look at as a career, but not only that, to volunteer even now to get the word out, to help businesses grow their potential client base, because there's that gap from a certain age group, older seasoned people, from high school kids and that in between stage. I want everyone from those, from high school all the way to, people like my age to just understand that we all have a part in something, but with the Chamber of Commerce. So I want the kids to know that part too. So, and that's it. Any questions?
Question. One main thing, the amount of work you do and your other people deserve everything, you know, it's great, it's just, I know we all feel the same way. And, what do you got time to sleep? You know, I mean, you've got the year filled up, it looks like. But Yuri, it's just really great, all the work that you do, and I want to thank you for that. And I know the other guys do too. I don't do any of the stuff you mentioned, what are those deals?
Social media.
So I do nothing of it, zero, zilch, whatever those were in there. And I've had a lot of people over time that try to get a hold of me, you know, by going on there, but I'm not there, you know. And had a lady say, Bob, I've tried for 2 weeks to get a hold of you. And I said, call me. Well, I've been on social media. I said, I don't do that. Brad, my oldest son, happened to see it on there, and he's the one that told me, and it's about a street or something. And she was just amazed. Not everybody does that, and I care nothing for it. And if anybody needs me, they just call me or call down at the chamber and leave a number. But I know we all want to thank you so much for your work and the others today. You be sure to tell all of them, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
If you want a viral video,
Yeah.
you get him to learn some TikTok dances. Say it.
There you go. There you go.
Yes.
This is suggested.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I move to approve the Chamber of Commerce annual report as presented.
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor? None opposed. Thank you again. You're 14, discuss any necessary action regarding awarding a construction contract related to phase 1 of the 2024 paving improvements. We'll go back to the city manager.
Mayor and Commissioners, this is basically the award of the bid. We've been moving towards this point, and you have before us, we did the RFP. It was advertised, and we actually got 3 bids, but one of them didn't comply fully, so we had 2. You see them there. Radon is the lowest and best, and you can see the letter from the engineer in your backup. So we're just looking for that confirmation, and we can get started on phase 1 of these street improvements, and excited to get these going.
Which one's phase 1? Do we?
Well, what you see, go back to the map. So on the red, what the engineer has done is divided into 2 phases. So we have a short term, a midterm, and if you go back to that slide, a short term, a midterm, and a long term. So the short term has pretty much been completed. The midterm is going to be phase 1 and 2. And then the long term, those will be after, you know, these 2. We'll do another RFP. We may be able to add some on to a phase 2 of this for the midterm, but go back to the map again. I'm sorry. So that midterm are all the red. So phase 1 is going to be about half of those. And it is in your backup, and I can send those to you specifically, but yeah, it's about 2.5 million. But for all of phase, the midterm, we're estimating about 5 million.
You know, this is something that's been needed for a long time. And it's gonna take a while to do it all, but till you start it, it'll never get done, so.
Well, and one thing, I mean, what I do want to kind of put out there is I mean, I think it's a great initiative, and it's gonna make a big difference. I mean, you know, we've got 7th and Rose and Elliott, and those made a big difference. These will make a big difference, but keep in mind, we've got 66 miles of road, and basically the midterm okay, which will be phase 1 and 2 of these projects, represents about 9 or 10 miles.
Yeah.
So it's a start, and we gotta start somewhere. I think by the time that this is done, because the midterm is about 5 years, then we'll have built up more in, from the sales tax. Most of this funding is the COs. We'll build up that sales tax account again, and then we'll put that to work.
Well, 5 years, give me a call, I'll come look at it, cause I won't be in here. That's a good start. Any questions, guys? Honey?
I move to award bid for phase 1 of the paving improvements to Radon Inc., the lowest and best bid.
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor? None opposed? All right, thank you. Item 15, discussion, any necessary action approving the facility use agreement with Stevens County Humane Society for a city-owned building located at 210 North Live Oak Street, Breckenridge, previously known as the Sis Clark Building.
So this is just the annual renewal of that contract, that we've been doing for several years now. So there's no change in this contract this year.
I move to approve facility use agreement with Stevens County Humane Society as presented.
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, item 16. Discussion, any necessary action on approving ordinance 2024-16, adopting a budget for the fiscal year beginning October 1st, 2024, and ending September 30th, 2025, in accordance with the laws of the state of Texas, appropriating the various amounts thereof, and repealing all ordinance in conflict therewith, and providing for an effective date.
So this is the budget, and I presented this several times, so I'm gonna go through these slides pretty quickly. I'm just gonna focus on where the increases are. Primarily, again, they're in alignment with our goals and objectives. You see that first line, and that's for employee cost of living, merit, equity adjustments, and that's about 262,000. And then fleet maintenance. And that's all the new vehicles that are coming in line, and so we're looking at a cost of about 331. Of course, the new code enforcement officer, and that 70,000 is including benefits. As is that 262. Well, no, the 262 does include the benefit increase. But the actual salary for a code enforcement office is, give or take 50,000, give or take, is what we're looking at. And then the part-time to full-time ACO position, again, is 49, but we already have the full-time, so the actual increase is more like 32. But I just wanted to show that. And that just gives you can see where the certified values are going up. And so, again, not to repeat, but the appraisal district is continually reevaluating and trying to get realistic values on the houses. This is the different debt that we have. And you remember that basically the one in red is going to be paid by general fund, and the rest will move to the water wastewater fund. And then the next slide. This was the COs, and so what was funded, most of the sales tax money was used for the intersections. There was a small amount of CO funding used for that. And then you got the midterm section there, and then parks, all the park improvements and the public works facilities. And then the staffing levels. The only thing I want to say there is, again, last year at the same time, we had 15 vacancies. And this year we have, actually right now we have 2. We've got one in the street department that actually just happened. We had somebody resign. So we've got that one, and then the public works director. Go ahead and switch. I've gone through most of these, wanted to keep going. The sales tax history, I think that it's you can see the red line is the current year, so we are down. And I think, 2 years ago, it was kind of overshot in what we thought it would be, and we've been bringing it down. Even though I think there's an uptick in development, there has been in sales tax collection, I think we're trending down unfortunately, so that's something to pay attention to. And just as a reminder, how that sales tax distribution, it's, 2 cents, is the max that any city can have. Basically, the general fund gets 1 penny. The streets gets a quarter, penny, and, to reduce the property tax is a quarter, and then the BEDC gets a half a penny. And so that's what makes up that full two pennies. And these are all slides that you've seen, keep going. That one, yes. Okay, so just, again, it is a decrease of 105. Current tax rate is 105,471, and the proposed tax rate is 104,471. It does include increased pay, new position, code enforcement officer, part-time to full-time, vehicle replacement program, the general fund debt, and the wastewater fund debt, and then we still have significant funding in there for maintenance of the Gonzales Creek. And so one good thing that I will say is this year that's helped us reduce our costs, because that cost, we're projecting what that is, but we've kind of been in a transition because we had used goats before, and then it was like, when I came on board, it's like, well, let's see how spraying and, hiring a vendor to come in and then cut it down works. And so that is our MO right now. We do have the clients coming in and helping us, and they did a great job. Felicia's overseeing them when they're working for us. They've been a lot of help, but they did significant work on the Gonzales Creek, especially the part that we really haven't been consistently maintaining, and that is south of Walker. So as it goes, by Harvey and it goes over to Harding, but those areas have been done, and they hadn't been done for a couple of years anyway. So, and that's basically in a nutshell, just tells you what goals that it aligns within our strategic plan.
Question? Motion?
I move to approve ordinance number 2024-16 and to set and approve the municipal budget for the 2024 fiscal year.
Second.
We have a motion second. A motion has been made and seconded to approve ordinance number 2024-16 and to set and approve the municipal court budget for 2024-2025 fiscal year. I ask the city secretary to please call the roll.
Okay, when I call your name, just say yea or nay. Mayor Sims,
Yay.
Commissioner Hamilton,
Yay.
Commissioner Akers is not present, Mayor Pro Tem Moore,
Yay.
Commissioner Mercer.
Yay.
The motion to approve ordinance 2024-16 and to set and approve the municipal budget for 2024-25 fiscal year passes on a 4-0 vote. Item 17, discussion and necessary action regarding approval of resolution 2024-24, ratifying the tax revenue for the tax year 2024, fiscal year 2024-2025 for the city of Breckenridge.
So I'm sorry, the next 2 items are just, action that you all have to take on ratifying it, and then the levying of the tax. And so on this one, we did have the public hearing on the tax rate last week. And so now we will vote on this resolution.
Okay, you can go ahead and read it.
Yes.
All right. This vote is in addition to and is separate from the vote to adopt the budget. This vote is to acknowledge that the property tax increases the tax revenue to support the budget for this fiscal year. to ratify the property tax levy increase reflected in the budget. A vote is required by state law, and council must make this vote separately to make clear that we know it will take more property taxes than the city raised last year to pay for the budget that we've approved for this year. This is not a vote for a tax rate.
I move to ratify the property tax increase reflected in the adopted annual budget for fiscal year 2024-2025.
Second.
Have a motion has been made and a second to ratify the property tax increase reflected in the adopted annual budget for fiscal year 2024-2025. I ask the city secretary to please call the roll.
Hey, when I call your name, just say yay or nay. Mayor Sims,
Yay.
Commissioner Hamilton,
Yay.
Commissioner Akers is not present. Mayor Pro Tem Moore,
Yay.
Commissioner Mercer.
Yay.
The motion to ratify the property tax increase reflected in the adopted annual budget for fiscal year 2024-2025 passes on the 4-0 vote. Item 18, discussion, any necessary action regarding ordinance 2024-17, leveling and ad valorem taxes for the use and support of the municipal government of the city of Breckenridge, Texas, and providing for the interest and sinking fund for the fiscal year 2024-2025, directing the collection thereof and providing for the time of paying the ad valorem taxes levied and providing that taxes become delinquent if not paid.
I move to approve ordinance 2024-17, and that the property tax rate be increased by the adoption of a tax rate of 1.04471, which is effectively a 3.91% increase in the tax rate.
Second.
A motion has been made and seconded to approve ordinance 2024-17, and that the property tax rate be increased by the adoption of a tax rate of 1.04471, which is effectively as a 3.91% increase in the tax rate.
Okay, when I call your name, please say yay or nay. Mayor Sims,
Yay.
Commissioner Hamilton,
Yay.
Commissioner Akers is not present. Mayor Pro Tem Moore,
Yay.
Commissioner Mercer.
The motion to approve ordinance 2024-17, and that the property tax rate be increased by the adoption of a tax rate of 1.04471, which is effectively a 3.91% increase in the tax rate, passes on the 4-0 vote. Item 19, discussion any necessary action regarding ordinance 2024-15, amending fiscal year 2023-2024 official budget adopted by the ordinance 2023-15.
So these are budget amendments. We can do them up to 4 times a year. We normally do them about twice a year, once in the spring and once in the fall, cleaning up the budget line items. You can see as you go through there, the ones that begin with a 4 are revenue line items that we're adjusting. Most of them are up. And then the ones that begin with a 5 are expenses, and you can see those line items, what we're changing them from and to.
Questions?
I move to approve ordinance 2024-15, amending fiscal year 2023-2024 official budget adopted by ordinance 2023-15 as presented.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor? Aye. Item 20, discussion any necessary action regarding approval of ordinance 2024-13, updating the fee schedules of fees. This is a second reading.
I move to approve the second reading of ordinance 2024-13, updating the schedule of fees.
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, thank you. All right, at this time, we will be going into executive session, and that will be at 6:22 p.m. Pursuant to Texas Government Code, anointed Chapter 551, Subchapter D, Texas Open Meeting Act, the Act. City Commission will recess into executive session, closed meeting to discuss the following: Personnel matters 551-074, personnel matters to deliberate the appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of a public officer or employee, or to hear a complaint or charge against an officer or employee. This will be on the city manager and public works. This time we will go with.
All right, you are being recorded. You're back on.
We'll reconvene in session at 6:55 PM.
I move that we renew the city manager contract as presented.
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. That completed. We're adjourned at 6:56 PM. Thank all of y'all.
Well, I'll keep in touch with the thing that we're going to do. I don't know. We can talk about it last night when